Now to a First Coast News exclusive. Today, a man who killed his own mother pled guilty to the crime. Scott Rolnick is accused of stabbing and strangling his own mother, Mary Ann, last summer in her home. And tonight, Mary Ann's family wants everyone to know how good of a person she was. So they reached out to our Jessica Clark to tell their story.
My mother, Mary Ann.
Margaret Rolnick Hines can hardly say her mother's name without tearing up.
Was a very amazing woman in a lot of ways.
Mary Ann, known as M.A. at Watson Realty in Jacksonville, was a go-getter, good with finances, and she could cook.
Cook and bake something that was on the top of a Bon Appetit magazine.
She helped first-time homeowners. She was a grandma. Simply put, she took care of people, including her son, Scott.
She did. Too much.
Scott Rolnick lived with his mother, Mary Ann, in the Sutton Lakes neighborhood in Jacksonville. He was 52.
He was unable to maintain a job or drive. Out of the kindness of a mother's heart, she took care of him, and when he needed to be financially supported when he couldn't, she financially supported him.
But she says Scott had trouble with drugs. Mike Hines, Margaret's husband, did not let his sons be with Scott, their own uncle.
Because I knew his background.
Last spring, Mary Ann kicked Scott out of her house. Just a couple months later, her grandson found her dead in her own home. She had been stabbed 119 times and strangled. Police arrested her son, Scott, for her murder, stealing from her, and for breaking into her home. Margaret didn't see it coming.
I didn't live in the house. I didn't see things that may have been becoming tumultuous. I did not see any of that. So I was blindsided. My mother, being a kind, caring person, did not share some of that with me. So I couldn't help her.
You're waiving those defenses or giving them up by pleading guilty today. Do you understand that as well, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Friday, Scott pleaded guilty to murder and other charges in exchange for not receiving the death penalty. It was the first time Margaret had seen her brother since before the murder.
Because he couldn't live with her and he couldn't live without her. I'm not excusing what he did. I don't think he was him when he did it, but he was, because he did it. But I just can't completely explain it. And he has to have some mental illness. He has to, because he loved her.
So I guess it's his decision not to put the family through a trial.
And while Scott Rolnick's actions caused pain for so many people in the family, the woman he killed did the opposite.
Because of her, we have a beautiful family.
That was Jessica Clark reporting. Scott Rolnick will spend the rest of his life in prison without the possibility of parole.